Good afternoon. I call to order the Knox County Beer Board for Monday, October 16th, 2023. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Commissioner Durrett.
Here.
Commissioner Olster.
Here.
Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Schoolmaker.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Beeler.
Here.
Commissioner Daly.
Here.
Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
10 members present.
Thank you. To my left, we have Kathy Daly with the Clerk's Office. To my right, Vice Chair Terry Hill and Director Moyers. I will now turn it over to Director Moyers to lead us in the pledge.
Please stand and face the flag. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve last month's meetings? Motion made by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Frazier. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. I'll now turn it over to Director Moyers to swear in our individuals.
I think mine's not working. There we go. If you're here to speak to this board, if you're an applicant, or if you're here on a disciplinary matter, please stand and raise your right hand. If you expect to speak to this board today, please stand and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you give today be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, and please remember that Knox County has passed an ordinance that makes it a $500 fine for lying or misrepresenting or misleading the county commission while testifying under oath.
Thank you, Director Moyers. Ms. Daly, please read the first item.
All-Star Market, 8920 Maryville Highway, District 8. Manorville Highway, District 8.
Come down to the podium, please, sir. Well, now there it goes. All right, sir, would you give us your name and address for the record, please, and spell your name for the record, if you would, please?
Imran Dhanani, IMRAN
Thank you, sir. All right, do we have a report from the sheriff?
I have just this letter.
Yes, just hang on for a second. We're going to hear from the sheriff's department, and then we'll...
I don't have a red light either. The next microphone works. Yes, it does. On September 25, 2023, officers with the Knox County Sheriff's Office conducted an alcohol compliance check at All-Star Market located at 8920 Manorville Highway. The defendant sold an alcoholic beverage to an underage person without checking their ID.
All right, sir, you've heard the charge. Are you plead guilty or innocent to that charge?
I plead guilty, sir.
Guilty. Okay. Have you taken any steps to address the problem?
Yes, sir. I have retrained my cashier. She was all new at that time, but I have just started more training with her, and I have specifically told them that if it's my POS system has any kind of warning, so they have to put the dates. And I have also disconnected the bypass. The POS system has a bypass on it where just hit enter and it bypassed the warning, but now it won't do that.
Okay, sir, and this is your second offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Schoonmaker.
There you go. It's thinking. It's like it's gotta. Thank you, Madam Chair.
this is your second time in 6 months selling beer to a minor. Was it the same employee that sold it the first time as well as the second time?
No, sir.
Okay.
This girl was new and she was appointed, I think, just a couple of weeks before this incident happened.
Okay, because you know if it goes to a third term, third violation, that gets very, very serious.
I know, sir.
Okay.
And
Does your employee also know that the driver's license, they don't even have to key in the date of birth if they just look at it? You know, the driver's license that you have looks like this, okay? But if someone's under the age, it's like this.
yeah, it's vertical, yes.
So they're aware of that.
Yeah, they are aware of that.
Okay.
But I think sometimes they really don't care, and I take that responsibility because my POS system has the 3D scanner which scans the ID. But I mean, I take that responsibility, but my cashier don't understand that, how serious this issue is.
Well, and you, as you know, as the owner of the beer permit, that it's a privilege to sell beer in Knox County. It is not a right. So you can lose that privilege.
Yes, sir, I know
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, I will turn it over to Commissioner Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Got that all thought about. Thank you, Commissioner Schoonmaker, for your line of questioning. And you know, Mr. Denani, I do notice that this establishment has had a beer permit for almost 8 years, and these are obviously the first two violations, but they are very close together. And I would reiterate what my colleague said about you understand the third violation. It's a very serious matter to this board. Under our precedent and our rules, I will move that we impose a 30-day suspension of the license or a $1,500 fine at the choice of the applicant. 60-day, I apologize, 60-day suspension or a $1,500 fine.
Sir.
Okay, that's my motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Beeler. Do I have a second? By Commissioner Jay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? None. The ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Clerk, if you can read the next item.
The next one is 441 Market, 9730 North Freeway, District 8.
Do we have someone here from 441 Market? Well, I'm going to pass it to the end.
Okay. This is Commissioner Beeler. This is in your district.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sure, yeah, I mean, I can certainly reach out to Mr. Vineyard. I'm not sure what the mix-up was, but, I mean, we can hear the third one, and then I'll be glad to move to postpone, so he does have his due process.
That works, and we'll wait to the end. So, Ms. Daly, if you will read the final.
The next one is Casey's number 4039 6900 Manorville Highway, District 7.
All right, ma'am, if you give us your name and address for the record, please, and spell your name for the record.
Patricia, P-A-T-R-I-C.
Hold on.
Sorry. Okay, Patricia, P-A-T-R-I-C-I-A. Last name is Pride, P-R-I-D-E, 5504 Golden Ridge Lane.
All right, let's have a report from the Sheriff's Department on this.
On Monday, September 25th, 2023, officers with the Knox County Sheriff's Office conducted an alcohol compliance check at Casey's located at 6900 Manorville Pike. The defendant sold an alcoholic beverage to an underage person after checking their ID.
Ma'am, do you plead guilty or innocent to this?
Guilty, sir.
All right, can you tell us what happened?
She checked the ID, and it was a military ID, and she just got a little confused. She said, she checked it and put in what she thought was on the birthday, and it was wrong. She sold.
What steps have you taken to address this since the violation?
Well, of course, we wrote her up. It's her only write-up. Next time, of course, if it happens, she'll be fired. And we made her redo all of her videos and her training. And she has to scan the back of every license. If she's caught not scanning the license, she'll be terminated.
All right. Chairman?
Thank you. Do we have any questions from commissioners? Seeing none, I will turn this over to Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of District 7, on a first offense, you have a 30-day suspension or a $1,000 fine. Which would you like?
I think they'll pay the fine.
Okay, pay the fine. Make a
Yes,
motion to impose a $1,000 fine.
Second.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Jay, a second by Commissioner Frazier. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Or will they send, how do I get the
The
payment?
clerk's office will contact you.
Okay. All right, then. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Ms. Daly, if you'll read the next item.
I'm not turning mine off.
Okay, we're back to 441 Market, 9730 Norris Freeway, District 8.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we postpone this item until the November Beer Board meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Beeler, second by Commissioner Schoonmaker. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, none. The ayes have it. Next item, please.
No, there's 2 items on the discussion.
The next is discussion item for the request for a name change for the following establishment: Aztecs number 1127322 Oak Ridge Highway, District 6, to the new name is the Local Market.
Thank you. And Commissioner Hill, this is in your district. Would you like to discuss?
Yes, thank you. Would you mind giving us your name and address, please?
My name is Emily Rowe. Address for the location is 7322 Oak Ridge Highway, Knoxville 37931.
Ms. Rowe, I presume you're the one doing the beautiful job on that former BP station that
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
totally.
I'm the project manager and actually raised in that community as well.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah, it looks very, very nice. Law Director, I don't know. Is there any formality that needs to occur in this?
Just a motion and a second.
All right.
We do have a question for Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Is it working? Clerk Daly, when they do a name change, do they still have to file for a new application and pay the filing fee? Can you, sorry.
They turn in their old beer permit and receive a new one with the new name on it.
Even though if it's different owners?
It's the same owner.
It's not.
It's the
no-
same owner?
same.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
different.
Okay, just clarifying it, thank you.
I'm tickled with what you're doing there. It's definitely an improvement in the area.
It's going to
so
look very nice.
Thank you so much.
And an improvement to the community, I think, as well.
Yes, ma'am. It sure is. Appreciate it.
Okay, so do I see Miss Daly to get the new name change permit?
I hear Director Moore is saying that there's nothing. It doesn't require.
We need a motion and a second.
Oh, we do.
To change to
I
adopt the name
apologize.
change, and then-
Motion to accept request for this name change.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? None. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Next item, clerk.
The next one is discussion item for potential change in the Beer Board rules as followed under Knox County Charter.
Thank you, and I believe that Commissioner Hill added this item to the agenda, so I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Oster. This was an item that when we had our meeting on legislative priorities that I had brought up, and it seemed to be the will of the committee to go ahead and look into this. We were specifically addressing the caveat that seems to occur with transfer of ownership from one person to another when they begin accumulating violations in an effort to be able to start the number over and avoid a suspension. I did have a discussion with Director Moyers about this and how to proceed. And Mr. Moyers, I don't want to speak for you, but I believe your statement was you felt like under our charter that this beer board could present a change in the rules that would satisfy our concerns.
We've adopted a comprehensive ordinance on beer alcohol sales. I tend to take an expansive view of the powers that we have under our charter, and I believe that we could amend that ordinance to prohibit the kind of transfers that you're talking about. And you just have to figure out how to word it so it accomplishes what we're trying to do. But I do believe we have the authority to do that.
I'd like to request then that if there's no objection or if we need a motion to allow Director Moyers to work on that rewording so that it's appropriate ordinance that we could bring for our rule changes for beer board.
Do we have any discussion before the motion and the second? I think Commissioner Jay possibly. There you go.
Turn on, or something's beeping at me. Thank you, Madam Chair. Have we discussed the time period in which, I think the goal of this is Bob Smith gets his third violation, and then he basically transferred the business to Linda Smith, and she takes over and keeps on going, and it obviously is still a place that violates beer board laws, and we're trying to sort of close that loophole. But have we talked about the time period? Is that once you've hit your third or fourth, or it's been revoked, that establishment loses it for a year, 6 months? I mean, is there a time period in which a family member, let's say Bob Smith, screws it up and he can't sell beer for a year and decides not to be in the business? Maybe a year later, a son or daughter decides to pick it up. Have we talked about that timeline yet?
Well, under the ordinance, if a beer license is revoked, no beer could be sold on the location for a year. That's the punitive period. I would not think it would be, my personal feeling would be if after a year, Bob Smith's wife wants to open up a place there, that shouldn't be a problem because there's not been anything there for a year.
Okay.
Bob Smith himself would not be prohibited after a year of trying to get a new license. That would be allowable under the rules. So the big punishment if you revoke is that no beer can be sold in that location for a year. That's enough to put most places that rely on beer sales out of business.
Okay, so then help me understand what's the loop we're trying to close?
Sometimes we'll see if I may, a request for when they get to their second or their third violation and they know that next time there's going to be a revocation, then they sell it or they transfer ownership to another family member, so their number goes back to 0 again at the same location with essentially the same management and leadership.
Okay, and so Director Moyers, you think there's a way to
What I
I'm
would
trying to
say,
figure out how do we word that in a way that doesn't, you're putting a scarlet letter on the property regardless of who owns it, essentially, for.
yes and no. There's some language in the state statutes, and they may be in our ordinance, I need to take a look, that does address this, not directly, but it talks about failing to transfer or transfers to family members who could take under the laws of intestacy. That's how the state has decided to make this definition. So, you could still probably sell to your third cousin twice removed, but not your son, your wife, your father, that sort of thing.
So that may be something that we need to add to our line of questioning if we do get a sale or a transfer of license or something.
And I think the way I would conceive of it is that no beer license could be transferred to a family member, however defined, while there is a pending violation.
Got it.
I think that would take care of the issue. Or you could say while there's one pending or after three. This board, I think on 3 violations, still usually, unless it's particularly egregious, offers the fine or suspension. Revocations, I haven't seen generally unless there's 4 or more.
Yeah.
In most cases. So we can word it to say, after 3, you can't transfer to a family member. If there's a violation pending, you can't transfer to a family member. We can work on those things and try to come up with something that's not overly punitive, but does accomplish what the board is trying to accomplish.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think, if I remember correctly, Vice Chair Hill, you're thinking of something that happened about 2 years ago where the father had his third beer sales, and then we gave him a 90-day, he couldn't sell anything for 90 days, and then he tried to transfer the business 30 days later during the 90-day period to his daughter. And the sheriff's office caught that and told us what was going on, and so we didn't allow that. But we probably do need to have that in writing, so somebody who's under a 90-day suspension can't just turn it over to a family member or somebody else and then, hey, I'm a new business now, while it's still going through the process of
and I would actually like to catch it even before the suspension.
Yeah.
And I think we've all kind of felt a time or two where that was probably going to be in the works. So I just, if there's just some way that we can just stop this, we just, need to close this loophole.
Is there any other discussions? Commissioner Lee.
Okay. When you said Mr. Law Director, when you said family member, would that also include ex-spouses? Because I think we had a situation a few months ago with an ex-spouse.
Not under the definition that's used by the state. Gosh, that would be a wild situation.
Can we put that language in there that it would, in that situation? I believe there was an ex-spouse that was in here.
I mean, we can work on the definition. As I stated, the state says persons who could take under in an estate under the rules of intestacy. Those rules don't include ex-spouses,
Right.
but we could add that to it.
Can we add that? Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Any other questions? So I hear before Commissioner Lee or Hill gives your motion, Director Moyers will be doing some research and putting together this, and obviously it'll come back in front of us.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
There's a motion on the floor.
Wait for this thing. Yeah, it would need to be an amendment to our beer ordinance, so it would have to go before the full county commission. So if you pass this, and then Commissioner Hill wants to make it, put it on for November as a first reading, we'll have something drafted up for you by then.
Commissioner Hill, it's in your court.
All right. I believe I understood that we needed a motion to have you go ahead and draft this to bring back to us for consideration and a vote.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill, a second by Commissioner Schoonmaker. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? None. The ayes have it. If there's no more business to come in front of Knox County Beer Board, I'd like to have a motion for adjournment. Motion by Jay, second by Commissioner Schoonmaker, and we are adjourned.